Is this considered beginner quality? Everybody, this is Alessandro. Welcome back to my channel. So a couple of days ago, I shared on my LinkedIn this shot done by one of my students, and I tagged it as beginner body mechanic shot, right? And so I received one of the comments that I receive all the time. Alessandro, beginner, sure. Come on, yes, of course, this is beginner level, Alessandro. They kind of think I'm being sarcastic, but the reality is that I'm not. Alright guys, and today I want to make this video because I think what I want to share with you is what is considered to be the bare minimum quality in case you want to progress in your study of animation or potentially get a job, right? And also the next question that people usually ask is, okay, Alessandro, if this is so great and it's a beginning level, what about intermediate and more advanced level, right? So I kind of want to clarify all about this today and take this opportunity to discuss a little bit more even further. So first of all, let's get out of the question that when I'm talking about beginning level, intermediate, I'm referring more on body mechanics. All right, so assume you already know how to make your poses, you know how to make the bouncing ball, you know very well the principle of animation, you know, you've done all the basic about the animation. There's gonna be a certain point when you study, you're gonna move to body mechanics, right? And so you wanna start with the very basics, and of course you will do the walk cycle and run cycle, they're gonna do the jump in place, you're gonna do all those simple exercises, but this is definitely not something you wanna put on your demo reel, right? This is not demo reel worthy. Maybe this was okay 20 years ago. Today the industry grow a lot higher. There are, you know, competition is more fierce, blah blah blah, right? So this is not enough. So the very first things I tell to my student, if you want to advance in studying animation, the very first things you need to be able to do is to take all those basic exercise and put them all together, make a sequence where you can blend a walk with a run, with a stop, a jump, a landing, a vault, right? All those things like you see in this animation, right? This is now, it's the bare minimum. You shouldn't, it's just making a walk cycle or a run cycle or a jump in place is not enough anymore. This doesn't impress anybody, right? The skill are getting better and better. Now the expectation are better and better, and you wanna push those things. So that's what I'm saying. This is the bare minimum before you want to advance. You want to make a sequence, no camera cut, no cheating, no anything. Animation needs to look good from every angle. Where you start from a still position, right? You started to walk, run, jump, and all those things that we already discussed about it. And not only you need to be able to make them, but the animation needs to look really very good, very well polished, good timing, good weight, and so on. Once you achieve this kind of level, again, this is the bare minimum when people start with me, then we can move to things that is a little bit more intermediate, which it means usually have, now you have your character performance, body mechanics performance confined in a smaller area, and usually people sometimes use performance from sport or something a little bit more capoeira stylish. But anyway, your character is not going to move in space so much, because now I want to see that you are able to create great poses, right, and you're able to hold those poses. By the way, this is something I realize a lot of people struggling a lot, even when they are more on advanced level. Now I'm really helping people to push and learn those skills about poses, because for me poses is the number one things you need to learn even before the bouncy ball. That's actually the whole reason why I made the pose masterclass a couple of months ago. You might find the link here somewhere in the comment. But when you start to do more advanced animation, yes, you want to make sure you create poses, not just copy reference. You create and push those poses. You are able to hold this pose for a while because you're confident the pose looks really good. You do the easy in, easy out. You're able to do a great overshoot. Anytime you strike a gesture, right, you don't want to make it too floaty or maybe too sharp, right? It looks very stiff. You want to learn how to make convincing overshoot and how to make different overshoot based on different scenario. You're gonna learn how to make from pose to pose animation, but at the same time not make it look too robotic. You know where I'm going with this, right? And this is definitely, it seems easier at the beginning because your character is in place, but I think it's the other way around, because first of all you want to learn on all the mechanics movement. But now there is no cheating, because you see, when your character is moving from left to right, it's constantly moving all the time. You basically never have to hold a pose, not even for a second, right? And somehow it's easy to cheat if your posing are not great, as long as the character is still moving in a convincing way. When you're doing a more intermediate shot, your pose now needs to be rock solid. You cannot just say, oh, I'm gonna keep moving my character, so if my pose don't look good, it's not gonna be very noticeable. There's no cheating here. When you're doing a gesture or something and you wanna hold your pose in a nice silhouette, nice staging, you need to be able to craft all of this. And of course, you're gonna learn how to improve the timing, right? How to push the timing even more. Again, not just copy reference so much. You start now to push things even more, right? This will be the intermediate. Then there is another step that I would say is between intermediate and advanced, is when you start to do things more related to combat and to martial art, right? You have a prop now, you're doing some attack, it could be a combo or a martial art performance. And now here it starts to become more difficult, because when you do this one, first of all, you need to have a great sense of timing that sometimes people don't have at the beginning. That's why you start with something more basic with a simple locomotion. Now you need to master the timing, because when you do stuff involving combat and martial art, the timing needs to be a lot more snappy, you need to have a lot more energy. Even more poses needs to be even stronger, because guys, your pose need to have a strong silhouette, line of action, and need to have great contrast when you go from one pose to another. It's all about contrast when you're working on combat and body mechanics, all right? If you don't have that, your animation, it will suffer, right? It happens many times when I see people that are way too used to just copy reference, and now they want to do things more advanced, similar to combat. The copy reference doesn't work anymore, and they struggle. The performance is not good. They have no idea. They just keep looking for the perfect reference because they don't know how to craft anything by themselves. They have no creative process. They don't know how to create a poses. They don't know how to push the timing. They don't know what does it mean go frame by frame, right? So that's important that you don't miss any step when you're studying. That's why it's so important that even when you do a basic body mechanic shot, you reach that level of quality, or else I can guarantee you guys, you cannot advance. If you try, eventually you will fail. Your animation won't look any good. You put it on your portfolio and you didn't achieve anything. And that's what I'm saying. So this one here for me is between intermediate and advanced, depending of the complexity of the performance that you're doing. Because you can do a simple 3-strike attack, right? I wouldn't say that advanced is more an intermediate. When we go to even more extreme level, like really advanced animation and body mechanics, to me is what involves two characters kind of fighting or interacting each other. Because now it's not just a character doing the attack and everything, the other person needs to receive the attack, and his animation needs to correspond of the energy of the first one. So every now two characters multiply by multiple times the complexity. Okay, for me this is kind of the ultimate. And I'm gonna be honest, not all my students achieve this kind of level. Most of them, when they stuck on the intermediate level, they tend to do 4 to 5 shots for their demo reel to kind of reach that kind of quality, and then from there, they build a demo reel, and it's good enough for them to get a job, right? But as you can see, guys, one of the other things you want to keep in consideration, a lot of you complain that company are not hiring junior, not hiring intern, fresh graduates, stuff like that. It's true, sometimes it's true. That's exactly the reason why some of my other students, they want to keep pushing their skill, getting even forward, being more on an advanced level. So when their demo reel is so good, the animation lead, the animation supervisor look at those and say, hey, this demo reel is great, I want to hire this person. I don't care if he doesn't have experience, he will make experience on the job. But you only get this kind of reaction if you really have those great skills, you show that you're able to tackle this kind of stuff. And I think there is still a lot of misunderstanding about this. That's why people think, Alessandro, this is not beginning level, come on, this is way too advanced. No, it's not. I think as a student, you need to be able to achieve bare minimum, something like I showed you at the beginning of this video, to move forward. If you can achieve the quality just by doing a simple jump and a landing, what makes you think you can do more advanced stuff, right? And again, we're not talking about advanced stuff in order to be a senior animator or anything. Today, that's the bare minimum if you want to get hired. I think as a bare minimum things, you need to have fantastic body mechanics. Competition is increasing. There are more people looking for a job. That's what needs to be done. And the reason why I'm so convinced about this is because I keep saying, people complaining on LinkedIn, stuff like that, or no company are not looking for a junior, then what is my chance to get a job, stuff like that. There is the layoff, the industry is in crisis, blah, blah, blah. I can guarantee you guys, 95% of the time, I go and take a look at the demo reel, and it's just the demo reel doesn't achieve the quality bar that is needed, and it's not even close. We're not talking about the quality here and they are here, no, they are down here, right? And they don't see it, they don't realize it, and that's why sometimes I think people being sarcastic. Oh, Alessandro, this is way too advanced. Come on, don't be silly. It's not about it. I think people are not realizing where they need to be in order to get a job. And I repeat, the same advice I give you many times, guys. If you really struggle with this, get a professional, hire them, hire someone who's in the industry, do a consulting with them, and see what they tell you. You know, it's good to find. It's harder to find the right person. I can tell you that. In the past, I failed myself even in looking for the right person. But I think today with the internet, there is a lot of material, so for you, you can find the right person that can guide you. So there is no excuse over there anymore. Just you have to do your due diligence. Okay, guys, I hope this video clarified a little bit more, and see you next time. Ciao, guys.